I would like to ask you, I understand in my life that many, many times, even when it's very important, I do procrastinate things, even if it's something that would bring a benefit to me, but I just procrastinate. And of course, there is some fear, but I have no idea how I can change it with your inner mammal brain chemicals.
Sure, sure. Good question. So this is very common, and I really understand this procrastination. I think it's a circuit like everything else. It's a learned expectation. And I see it very easily in my husband's family, if I may mention. He doesn't even listen to this. And his family's all passed on. Um, Anything you do gets criticized. But if you do nothing, that's okay. So when you live with that incentive structure, then you have incentive to do nothing. And I can understand that so well. I can see the fear. Like when I have to do something and I think anything I do is going to be criticized, then I want to do nothing. And in my husband's family, not only did they criticize whatever you did, but they had this self-righteous thing that you didn't plan. If you would have planned, if you would have thought it through, nothing would have gone wrong. And so you acted too quickly, and that's why it went wrong, because you didn't stop and think it through. And so that's what you're doing. You're just endlessly stopping and thinking it through. Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
It
yeah,
works
right?
in circle, yeah. Even when I can prove that I have done so many things with a lot of success, I hesitate again and again.
And can you hear the loop in your head that's anticipating the criticism that you will get?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
yeah. You know why? I'll tell you why. I like we all have the random circuits from our past experience, right? So in my past, I was ignored a lot. So I don't have this fear that whatever I do will be criticized. My fear is whatever I do will be ignored. So in one way that makes it easy, because like I could write these books saying whatever I thought, because I figured nobody's going to read them. So what's the difference? Um, but then my husband, he proofreads for me and he finds fault with everything. And then I just see his family pattern that like cannot see the good in anything. Um, you could think about it from a herd perspective, that if you do anything successfully, then you're getting ahead of us and you're making us look bad. So we want to just make you feel bad about whatever you do. And of course, no one would ever consciously say that or even think it. But on some level, it feels safe to do nothing and to anticipate criticism. So the question, what is the solution? So once you see the pattern, then to say, what is the solution?
Mhm.
So often people try to motivate themselves with big goals where they imagine themselves at the mountaintop and they imagine that they're some kind of superstar. And I think that's not a great idea, because partly then you never actually feel that and then you give up. And partly because you don't really want to be a superstar, because all those people who have always criticized you, you know how they would judge you and condemn you if you were thinking of anything very big and motivated. So doing nothing is safe. And so the alternative is to think of a small reward that's meaningful to you. So the way I did it in terms of like writing books or whatever, that when I say something that I believe is true, instead of just hiding behind the safe, polite thing to say, that I felt like I was having fun, like a child who it's fun to say what you think for a moment. So I'm giving myself a reward. and it's a reward I have control over. So when you take this step, whether other people like it or not, you've already gotten something. So that was a reward to me. Another reward to me was my children. I knew that they would mirror what I did. So I wanted to set an example. So what example did I want to set is to some of the time have the courage to be real, to be authentic instead of always fearing. So think of some rewards that are valuable to you. Any?
Yeah. So we are again at the point of self-acceptance.
Yes, self-acceptance, but also not just accepting the bad stuff, but accepting this feels good to me, so I'm going to do this because I have a right to feel good, and I have to create my own good feelings.
Yeah, and to deserve it from my own. I give my own reward to me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because, you know, when deserving it already sounds judgmental, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so that's a very short way to myself, going to myself and rewarding myself. That's a very short way.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
a reward that's small enough that you can actually succeed at it. And I have a chapter on authenticity in my book, How I Escaped Political Correctness, and you can too. I'd be happy to give you the PDF. And I just want to add one other thing about procrastination. My husband and I needed to make a will. And that's an example of something that everybody procrastinates, because who wants to make a will? Because it forces you to think about your death, right? And so you may have other reasons to procrastinate other than inner child things. And the fear of death is a big one. So many people, it's not just making a will, but like I have a friend who refuses to get a mammogram because, again, just thinking about potential illness. So everyone has those thoughts that, oh, I'll give you another example. Oh my gosh, when I was young, I used to lose things all the time. And I created this fear, like this huge fear around losing something. And then if I would leave something, I would forget something at your house. And then I would forget to ask you, hey, did I leave my new necklace at your house? I was just so frozen because of certain past events. For example, if I asked you, did I forget my thing at your house? Then it would sound like I'm taking my things back and we're never going to see each other again, which of course is not. But so it's just a huge fear, and a lot of the fear is mortality, but also it's fear of anything bad that happened to you when you were young. Everything associated with that triggers the whole pattern. And then you think, oh, I'm going to be the cause of this terrible thing just by taking this one tiny step. And as soon as you see that it's a pattern, then it helps you say, okay, I'm going to experiment. I'm going to take this one tiny step and know that I won't necessarily cause the same disaster of when I was young. Okay.
That's very, very helpful. I can see all these patterns. Thank you so much.
To learn more about your happy chemicals and help others find this valuable information, click the thumbs up and subscribe to the Inner Mammal Institute channel. To get a free 5-day Happy Chemical Jumpstart guide, opt in at the Inner Mammal Institute website, innermammalinstitute.org. Thanks.